is the first of two videos in which I'll be making two guitar stands. Now why two, you ask? Well, in the next video I'll be using hardwoods. I will be trying to make it quite a luxurious look. I'll be trying a few things out that are new to me. I'll be trying to use my router for making joints and trying to produce a slightly upmarket product. But in this video I'm going to be doing something cheap and quick. And by cheap, I'm going to be using OSB. I came in for some criticism using OSB in a previous video. But really the idea is I'm just going to make use of whatever is lying around, and I'm going to use the minimum of tools. I am going to use a jigsaw, but if you're trying this yourself, you could use a coping saw. It's up to you really, but you can pick up jigsaws fairly cheaply. I'm also going to be using an electric drill, but that's largely it. Ruler, paper, screwdriver, and the raw materials, we've got OSB. I'm going to be using a hinge. I'm going to be using some draft excluder or gap filler, gap seal they call it. I will put links to these things in the description. And I will be using a fashion store bag. You'll have to stay tuned to see how that one gets used. So let's get started. This is the design. This is the template to cut two pieces out of the OSB, and I'm going to hinge them at the top here, and there's going to be a piece of rope from the handle of the bag going through here to stop them going too far apart. To give you an idea of the scale of this, this is two A4 sheets taped together with a little bit extra here. So it's 410 millimeters high, and the angle that this is back at is 15 degrees. You want to make sure this edge here is a little bit forward of the rear of the stand, because the centre of gravity of the guitar is going to be here, and if you have this point too far back, the danger is it's all going to tip over. So I've kept this edge 110 millimeters clear of the rear of the stand. What else can I tell you? 104 millimeters wide here, which gives enough for an acoustic guitar, and a gap here of about 80 millimeters for an electric guitar. This point here is 150 millimeters above the floor, and the low point here is at 80 millimeters above the floor, and the base is 345 millimeters wide. I think that's all you need to know. I'm not going to do a PDF of plans for this because it's simple enough, and you can use a little bit of your own creative flair. But I think as long as you have this point far enough forward and you have the angle enough back so that the guitar won't tip forward and it won't tip back, and as long as it's big enough to give a reasonable platform for any size guitar, then you've got room for creative flair, I think. using Hammerite with its hammered finish, partly to disguise the unevenness of the surface, but also to sort of revel in it. Uneven surface, uneven finish. Why not? I have my hinges. So we're going to have the hinges folding in this way. I've lined these up as best I can, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to screw this one down first. If I was to screw these as they are now, if I've got that slightly out, then the chances are when I fold the two together you're going to get something that's not lining up. I don't think, can you see that from that angle? You get something a bit like that. We want them to fold up nicely. So, just got to be a bit careful about how we do this. I'm going to line it up initially anyway and try to get at least get the hinge parallel with this part here, but I don't think that's critical. That didn't work at all. This is surprisingly hard. I sort of have a picture of OSB in my head as really soft wood. Okay, very small, short 2mm pilot hole. I think that's okay. Double-sided tape. Actually, I've got some better double-sided tape than this, but right, how to line those up, stick it down, and very carefully might have been better to put one screw in first and check alignment, but I'm feeling lucky. Yes, there we go. Now we get to use the fashion bag. It's a source of braided rope for free. This is an 8mm hole, and I can just get it through. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So I want this to come apart by about 30 centimetres. I need quite a bulky knot in this because it's an 8mm hole I've drilled. Maybe I should have drilled a smaller hole. I was worried about how to get a soft fluffy rope through a hole in OSB. Right, there's no way that's going to be pulling through. There we go. I didn't even have to cut it. There we go. One folding guitar stand. Now, the final part involves draft excluder. And people's opinions may differ on this because I think I'm going to put the strip right the way round the outside, all the way round. Clearly you only need it on this edge. You don't even need it here really, because this should stop the guitar contacting this part, so you really only need draft excluder there and there. But I'm worried about how easily this adheres to the Hammerite, so I'm just going to put it on all the way round so there are no ends to peel off. Well, there's going to be an end there and an end there, but we could put a pin through. I don't think I'm going to. I'll see how well it adheres. This is going to be fiddly. But it seems to be sticking rather well, actually. Right, this is where opinions will probably differ, because many people would stop there, and I'm going to carry on right the way down the back. The edge of OSB isn't the prettiest thing in the world, and I just think it'll improve the look of it a little bit. That seems to have stuck really rather well. Actually, I rather like the look of that. And that is now finished. Quick and easy guitar stand, expensive guitar. If you want to see the restoration of this guitar and fancy binge watching hours and hours and hours of footage, then you can find it on my channel, and I'll put a link below. Cheap guitar stand, cheap guitar. Yay! If you check out the description below, you will find links to all the materials I've used for this, except the OSB. Use whatever you've got lying around. I think that's the point of this. If I had plywood, which actually I do, I also have MDF. I guess the preference would be plywood, then MDF. MDF would be a good. OSB would come quite low on my list of materials, but I deliberately used the cheapest thing I had lying around just to get rid of it, and I think it actually looks rather attractive with its lovely textured surface. So all you haters out there who hate OSB, well, you know what you can do. So yeah, there are affiliate links to the other materials I've used, and if you buy any of them through that, it just helps me out a little bit, helps me make these videos, more of which will be on their way. So click like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and go and watch some of my other videos, like the restoration of that lovely parlour guitar you've just seen. Next video up will be a more luxurious version of this stand, perhaps more suitable for displaying a parlour guitar. So go watch that, and I'll see you later. Bye!